Hi, and welcome to my channel. For today's video, we have a kids art kit or art case. Marble, very lovingly marble. It's pretty rough, but I got it for like 99 cents, so I'm not too upset. So we've got some watercolors here. We've got some oil pastels, and based on the back, this is a permanent marker. We got a little eraser here, which I don't know why, because we don't have a pencil. I've already got my sketch, which when erasing, I did scrape my nail across, but it's okay because I think that part, I don't think it'll matter too much. So I've just got a little bumblebee that I sketched out in a watercolor pencil. And I'm going to start off with the oil pastels on the bumblebee and try and use the watercolors for the background. So unfortunately, we do not get a white with the oil pastels over here, but I'm still just going to try and make do with what I can. I'm going to start with the yellow. I'm trying to go very lightly with it, but it's very, very bright. And it's kind of orangey over here. So just to get them out of the way, I moved the container and just pulled out the oil pastels. I don't think the watercolor paper is working in my favor, but I didn't have any multimedia paper on hand. I just kind of wanted to use what I had. I think that's good enough for now. Let's move on to the black. And I'm sorry if the camera is really shaky for this. I know these came from a kids kit, but these oil pastels are kind of trash. And I'm also using them on watercolor paper, so I know I'm not giving them like their full potential, but I'm not a fan. And they're not branded or anything either, it's just Marvel. Let's just go down to the butt, where it's pretty much just black, and see how black we can get the black. The answer is not very. Alright, since this is going to be a solid color and I'm pretty sure my camera's shaking quite a bit, I'm just going to jump ahead to when this is filled in. It's pulling up the previously laid color. Like once you start going back over it, it starts pulling it up. So that's not good at all. It snapped. This is such a disaster. Do I have a brown? Okay, good, I do have a brown. So I can warm these up a little. So with the wings, I do need white, and I don't have it with this, but we have the watercolor, which there is a white, and white watercolor isn't really a thing, so it's probably, they're probably more like gouache, honestly, like a hardened gouache, which most kids' watercolors are, like those pan watercolors are very opaque. But we're just gonna go in with what we can with the black to start with, and then we've got the little leggies. There's a little, once I get to color this in, if I do it right, you'll see the little bee paw, and it's so cute. I love little bee paws. And then for the rest of the wings, it's going to be in the watercolor. So that's our bumblebee in the oil pastels. Maybe I'll try and do the eye a little bit more. All right, so we'll put these away. And then we will jump over to the watercolors. All right, so we're back now. After thinking about it and how these worked, and the fact that they don't smudge at all, I'm pretty sure that they lied and these are actually crayons. I am missing half of my white, but that's fine. And I'm not going to be using this paintbrush. I'm going to be using my own paintbrushes. I'm sorry, but it's those plastic haired paintbrushes. I just can't. So I'm going to try and go over this. And I'm just going to go in with the straight black first and see what I can get. And go over what was not filled in. I might need my pipette and just melt them down a little bit first. So I've decided after trying them a little bit, I'm just going to add a little bit of water on top just because they're so chalky. Just to let them kind of absorb some water. They're so gritty even on my brush. I mean, I expected them to be chalky, but it's just rough. I'm just gonna see what'll sink in here and what won't. It looks like enough wax has been deposited onto the paper to where it's gonna be very difficult to do what I'm trying to do here. I don't know what the point of that was. I mean, I had the white of the paper. Try and start with the wings with a really light wash. So that's kind of my underpainting for the wings before I really get too into it. I'm gonna go in with the background a little bit. The original photo, the flowers are white. I think I want to make them maybe orange. I was thinking yellow, but I don't know about that anymore. Kind of want to make them really loose. I started to sketch the stem in down here, but then I decided not to. I'm going really, really loose with these, by the way. I'm only kind of basing the image. Only kind of referencing my reference image here, not very much. So, don't judge me too hard on these flowers. Alright, so I'm going to let those dry. And then I'm going to kind of go in here and there in the background and just kind of insinuate some more bushels of these flowers. this part is, woo, that's dark. I'm just going to use the water to blend that out. I want to try something a little unusual. I want to see if I can just draw with it. Sorta. It's not really doing a whole lot. I was hoping to be able to get some highlights with this, but it doesn't look like I can. Alright, the white's useless except for maybe lightening other colors. I want to go in real heavy with the background color. I don't have a very deep green, so I'm just going to do my best with this light green. And maybe try and darken it up with a little bit of blue. That's bleeding. I didn't actually expect it to be able to bleed like that. So I'm second guessing myself here. Do I just go over it and let it all bleed and just do a very muddled background? Because why not? I'm starting to think so. Yeah, I'm starting to think so. We're just... Let's just try and go over the more solid areas first. Let's do a smaller brush, slightly smaller brush. So I'm gonna let that dry for a little bit, and then I'll come back and I'll get all of the little hairs that got stuck in the water out, and I will do more detail on the specific branch that he is on. It's the next day. I did put it off for a little bit because, well, watercolor scares me. It's unpredictable and I like to know exactly what I'm doing. With that being said, not only is watercolor unpredictable, especially these cheap kids watercolor cakes are terrifying, and I'm scared that they won't layer. Especially what happened over here when I tried to put the red centers on these. Granted, they were kind of wet still, so I don't know, maybe that affects it. I'm just hoping that I can layer how I need to layer, but I'm scared. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I'm scared. So let's see what we can make happen. Also, I noticed while I was looking back at my previous footage that this looks all really washed out, and I know that's because it's a yellowy green, and the yellow bumblebee and the green paint matte, but I promise in real life it's not as muddled. I'll try and take a better photo at the end, but with my lighting, this is the best that I can get, and I'm sorry. So let's just see what we can do. We're going to take the permanent marker now. It only comes in one color, and that's red. And we're just going to sign the corner here. And I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to show it to you in different lighting. So I've added in some different lighting, and this is a bit more what it actually looks like. So let me know what you think in the comments. Something that really upset me, and I realized this after, is during the process, I thought the oil pastels were absolutely atrocious. And just for some research, I was taking off a label, and my hunch was correct. They are actually crayons. So I did do the B in crayon. So all of this is crayon and not oil pastel. But if you like the video, if you like how the art came out, either way, feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see upcoming in the comments. And don't forget to stay artsy.